Yes, we go with the rest of the party. A little bit rewound time. You travel on over to the Steak and Mead. As you kind of enter back into the cleaner, kind of almost again richer part of town again. Similar to what you're kind of seeing in Cinderbrook, where you don't. Similar and different. You see a fair bit of like armed bodyguards kind of protecting the shops, but then the shops are generally running. Almost in, well, I guess for some of the characters that are a fair bit younger, like that are under 30 or even in their 40s, they might not have recognized before, but I guess, yeah, compared to when you've left to other nations, there's actually more armed people in the streets that seem to be protecting things than there was when there was actually government and standard guards kind of around the area. However, unlike what you see in Cinderbrook, is you do see kind of a list of people, particularly around the Steak and Mead, that seem to be wearing a little bit more, you wouldn't necessarily call them family colors, but there is definitely a theme to their armor where they seem to be a little bit more dressed the same, I guess you could say, where you can kind of tell they're kind of working together. With kind of their...
Anything notable about the armor, like a symbol or a crest or anything?
It's more like, their symbol almost like opposite to what you would almost expect in a grimdark world is their symbol is kind of a blue sky with like the sun. It's almost like a rather almost uplifting kind of symbol, which then just clashes with just like how rough and like, you know, scarred and, you know, dirty and kind of just rough looking like gangsters. They're basically just gangsters in a sky blue shirt with a big sun on it. You see them in particular kind of all in similar garb, guarding kind of and inside kind of watching the Steak and Mead. And then when you look at the Steak and Mead, the smell that kind of comes from it, you realize that this is probably one of the finer restaurants here in town.
All right, who wants to go get a steak?
It's been a while since I had a good steak. I'm willing to take this one for the team. I'm gonna go in.
All right, Dr. Theric, you're not gonna loiter, are you?
No, I'll go. Might as well go in as well.
So, as the party kind of starts to creep on the door, you can kind of see the bouncer that kind of would work at it, just kind of giving you the up and down, like, where do you think you're going?
Get dinner.
Are you on the list?
No.
Then you're not getting dinner. Not here, anyway.
Nice. Does he have the list on him, like in front of him?
Oh, yeah. He's got just like a ledger. He's got a little like stand and everything with like a ledger. I mean, he's like a bouncer. You question that he can read, but he's got a list.
All right. I say I should be on the list. Yeah, Dr. Theric Lunar Seeker, PhD, should be on there.
Without even looking at the list, he looks at you. You're not on the list.
No, I definitely called and reserved, so you should probably
Called
check again,
how?
big guy.
He like kind of feigns like looking over at it, looks back. I checked again, man. Not on the list.
Well, this is preposterous. Please bring your manager here. Trying the Karen strap.
I'm gonna like peer over and be like, he's on the list. I can see it right there.
Right there.
I don't know what.
Literally right there.
As you guys are kind of making a scene, you can start to see like the other, you know, guys wearing the nice sunny shirt, kind of start to like come on over, and it's just like you can almost see like the shortest one of them all, you know, puff out his shoulder. Is there a problem here?
Yeah, I called
Nope.
for a reservation, and I'm not on the list. I don't understand.
And he clearly is.
Yeah.
And please
Like,
back down,
I'm sorry.
gentlemen.
Do you
Maybe
guys
for-
hate business? This is weird, right?
Brian, I want to try something before they start getting mad at us. I'm just gonna let me check the list one more time, fellas, just to be sure. And I'm just gonna kind of like look down the ledger upside down, and I'm just gonna point to a name and go, "Is right there." And as I like jab down at the name, I'll put a couple gold pieces under my finger and just, it's right there. See?
See, the guy kind of looks at it and he kind of looks back and you can kind of see him doing a quick head count at the table and he kind of grabs the gold. Yeah, I see, what was your name, sir?
Oh, it's Noah.
Right, yeah, I
Hands
see
on.
Noah on here. I still don't see a lunar seeker as he kind of turns over to Matt. Come on in.
Oh, excellent. Okay, here. And I pass.
You kind of see like three people kind of go in front of everybody but Flint, who's just like allowed on in.
Okay, yeah, I understand how this works. I pull out my briefcase and I pull out what looks like could be some sort of good time leafs, if you know what I'm saying, boys. And I slip that under him.
Can I interest you in some drugs, sir?
Yeah.
I am not a cop.
And I look to see the bouncer's reaction.
Bouncer, I mean, you're in a place with no cops, right? Like,
Yeah.
he just kind of grabs it, looks at it. Do you mind? Starts to open the bag. Kind of just goes and kind of takes a whiff of it. Takes a quick taste, you know, and he's just like, this isn't local.
No, sir. This is the best you're gonna get. Elven grass.
It's that good Elven Kush, brother.
That's right.
Oh yeah!
You kind of see him, like, tie
Nothing
the
gets
bag
you
back
high
up,
like an elven eye!
puts it down by, puts it back on, like, the ledger. And he just kind of, like, he goes and he then kind of, like, whispers to one of the younger guys there. Or, like, one of the smaller guys, and he's, I'll get that manager you were asking for. See if we can't get this whole thing sorted out.
Much appreciated.
Oh, I'm gonna go get a steak, I guess. See you guys later.
Flint just walks on in and just like sawed-on shotgun on his back, like scraped up breastplate, but like, fuck it. Sets it down beside him, like. You can kind of see, like, waiter comes up, like, I mean, he's dressed up, full, proper attire, like, quick service, just straight in. Sitting there with the wine and everything, glass already ready for you, like. But then he kind of gives you an up and down, and he's like, just so you know, full meal here is gonna run you a good 10 gold pieces at least.
I'm here, so I'm obviously good for it.
Yes, obviously,
Yeah.
clearly. All right, and he starts pouring you the wine. Sorry. And then just kind of like hands down the menu. You can see it like finely written in calligraphy. I mean, it's steak and mead. There's like, you got your steak, you got like 2 other cuts of meat, and then you've got like 3 pages of ale to choose from.
Oh, is
Mead
this
in
some
particular.
like bullshit like minimalist menu? It's just like
No, it's like steak, which there's not a lot of variations in
Yeah.
steak, and mead. So it's like 2 pages of mead menu.
okay. I will look at it and I'll have steak and whatever mead you think pairs best with it. Trying to like remember what fancy restaurants that aren't out just like eating at a campfire like.
I'd also like to know what type of fancy restaurant just has on their menu steak. Like it's not properly labeled where in the cow it's fucking from.
Yeah.
Just
It's
T-bone,
Listen,
bone in,
when
bone
SpongeBob writes
out.
an essay
I
and it's
don't
like he's
eat
writing the
steak.
letter the.
I go into a steak restaurant and get chicken. All right,
You son of a bitch.
I've never been a big fan. I think the joke was just more that like they're clear. It's clearly one of those restaurants that you're there for the beer, and then they're just like, look, we got a guy out back with a grill, but like here's our fine selection of ale.
right.
Bobby the chef in the back just slamming ribeyes down.
Pretty much. Yeah, okay, they've got the
grill
full
master.
arrangement of like, you know, the animal, you got all your different cuts, and of course, you know, all the different cuts, but then everybody that likes to come in just goes and gets the good old ribeye. Yeah, then they point to it and they're like, well, here, this is a thick, dark, dwarven ale. Really popular.
That works for me. Coming.
Right away. Is you've got your like initial glass of wine that they also gave you. Meanwhile, out in the front,
I'm waiting for this Karen moment to happen.
Well, as you're waiting for this Karen moment to happen, you're expecting to see the manager come in, and basically what you see is about 10 guys, all armed, like, kind of ready. And then you kind of see almost like the shortest of the lot. You know, he's kind of just really got some, like, attitude. He's really kind of almost, like, high energy, like he's compensating for his height. And, you know, he's just kind of, all right, he's kind of coming in, and he's like, so what's this about you bringing in, Elven Green into my neighborhood?
All right, listen
While,
here,
while this
shortstop.
is happening, I'll pay my 2 gold shakedown tax to the original guy that was like.
I mean,
had
at
the
this
list.
point, it's hard to, like, sneak in because it's like the entire doorway is just filled with a
I feel like
bunch of
there's
people.
just like a crowd of people, but
Meanwhile, Orin is just watching this family have dinner. The kids are talking about their day, and he's just like,
is your stomach
Nice.
grumbling?
Yeah. Okay.
You basically, Matt, you basically came into a drug gang and tried to bribe them with, like, it's like I'm almost thinking of the scenes of Walter White, except it's not this isn't meth, but you just basically walk in with drugs to a drug empire and try to bribe them with other drugs.
Ironically enough, I was actually going to say it wasn't drugs. If we got in, I was going to be like, it was just some leaf I found.
It's just
But anyway,
oregano.
yeah, just some elven, like, grass. Like, just literal, just grass.
I mean, fair enough. Look, the guy at
Anyway.
the front, the guy in the front just assumed the context.
Of course, he doesn't know
but then
what it
just,
is.
Like, just took off like Elven.
Yeah. Listen, I say, all right, listen, shortstop. I called to get on the list. Y'all didn't put me and my group on the list. So, I thought I could make a little deal, slip them a little something something from my home country. I'm not trying to sell nothing here. I'm just trying to eat some nice steak. That's it, man. You're looking into it too much. It's that short
The
man's
little
complex
guy-
you have.
All right, I'm rolling a frustrate or angry
I'm gonna
take.
take a step back.
Can they see me just like fucking slamming down a steak and beer? Yes.
Like you're
Listen,
supposed to be,
listen.
you're supposed to be scouting out the whole thing, and you're just sitting there carving up a steak. Like,
Hey, man, can't scout on an
I'm
empty
like,
stomach.
I'm looking around the establishment for like egress points and where the fuck the steak's coming from and stuff. But like, you know, I'm not.
Listen, man, I'll make you an even better deal. If you really are this concerned about your height, now these comments are affecting you, I can literally, and I mean this literally, would love an attempt for extension surgery. I will make your legs bigger and put about, what are you, like 5'8"? I can literally bump you to 6'2" for them Tinder profile swipes. You know what I'm saying, dog?
all right, so minus the Tinder references and the fact that
Sure.
you've now called him short like 4 times without him saying anything. You can kind of just see him starting to get frustrated, and he kind of grabs the leaf, and again he's just trying to fight in his anger, and he kind of takes a look at it, and then, as you mentioned, it's just a worthless leaf, and he's not the
It's just
the
elven,
idiot in
like,
the front.
grass. Like, it's, I don't know.
He's like, he just kind of turns it, and then he throws it as a bouncer, and he's like, "This is worthless grass." Like,
was worth a try.
I mean, yeah, the drug boss came in, and the drug boss is like, "This isn't actually
Yeah,
drugs."
this isn't great. Yeah, you should be mad at your employee for not letting us in.
I'm just gonna have to go ahead and say at this point, you're never welcome at the Steak and Mead. Even if there was a mistake, get out. As you then just see like all 10 guys just like kind of hand on their blade, like getting almost ready. You know, it's kind of the equivalent to like the big muscle guy, like up across my arms will look intimidating, but just like hands on the sword, like we mean business around here.
You clearly don't. You just turned down business.
You can also have like a lineup of 2 or 3 people like behind you. You can even see some almost like pompous person like, could you just get out of the way? Some of us actually have a reservation.
Oh, settle down, Jeremy. I know you're cheating on your wife. Well,
Alright.
that could have gone better, boys.
Was I able to pay my way in there? Still want a steak.
You still want a steak. I think at this point you've kind of just cut your loss, went to the back of the line, and then just slipped them the gold. Like you just kind of like watch the whole thing, and you're like, all right, Theric's being Theric again, and just kind of to the back, come to the front of the line, slip the gold, and then you just go and sit down beside Noah.
Perfect. I don't want to have a mistake.
Well, they've got steak and some meat.
Yeah, I'm just here for the steak.
I like to step up and be like, I'm not on the list, but maybe you've heard of Brent the Agency.
Can't say I have.
Step ain't talking about. Told you they wouldn't know who I am. I don't know why you keep telling me. Everybody knows who I am. They don't.
All you hear
I'll
back
give
is,
a couple of them.
you need to work on that. You slip him a couple of gold, and he's like, Brent, oh, I've heard tons about you and all of your desires for steak and mead. Just like,
You'll know me soon. Don't pander to me. I sit down and be like, yes, please. I would like one fillet mignon. Rare.
I have to think for a second what that was. All right. Yeah. Right away, sir. They kind of get it. As you guys, after all the chaos, Theric's just outside, like, grumbling to himself. And the three of you are enjoying actually delicious steak. Despite everything, this is like a delicious steak. So you're kind of walking around and you're kind of checking around. Well, the only things that really seem to stand out is it just doesn't seem to fit the decor. All the guys dressed in this like sky blue kind of tabard. There seems to be a lot of them. You ever been to like a job where you've just seemingly they got like a lot of staff that don't know what they're doing and just kind of run around to look busy?
Yeah.
That's kind of what's going on here.
Do we see tall and blonde or Cromley?
No sign of those two in particular. Most of the people that come in do seem to be, say a little bit higher class. Probably because the steak is really good and there's also not really many other places to get decent steak left in Ilhelm, much of Tempest.
Alright, then I'll just enjoy my steak.
At this point, you guys are like, of course, you're like right in the middle of the dinner rush. It's right around the time you start to finish your steak. The bill starts to come. We're looking at a solid 10 gold pieces a person.
Sure.
Despite being the best steak you've had in a while, it definitely wasn't a 10 gold piece steak. Not by a large stretch. You then, that's when you then kind of notice Tall and Blonde kind of come in. He's dressed kind of a bit nicer than the rest. However, he doesn't come in from the front door, and he doesn't come in to sit down. You kind of see him do that, and then you kind of see with his nice garb, rather than wearing the tabard with it, he has like a little badge on him that has the sun on the sky blue sky. Just like a little emblem, kind of pin that he seems to have made, kind of on his suit. The suit, it looks like it's a little bit small on a man of his stature. And, but where else are you gonna get many suits that fit a man quite that large? And, he then kind of starts coming in, he starts talking to all the other people. And you can kind of see, like, a couple of the people that were, watching kind of like everything that was kind of happening outside, because you guys have been kind of sitting there, you finished eating and you've just been chilling longer than needed, and then all of a sudden you're kind of just having chats and like looking around, but you're just hanging around a restaurant staring at all the customers and watching everybody that comes to the door. It's been a little bit noticed by some of the other folks that are there. They're just kind of like, he kind of points to them and big guy kind of looks over at you, and that's when he kind of comes over, and he's just like, well then, as much as we appreciate your guys' business and the extra business at the door, I do request that maybe we leave the seat to somebody else.
Are you a waiter? Can you get me another water? Dying of thirst over here.
How many people can we piss off today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He kind of just like looks at you, waves to another guy. Guy comes over, whispers in his ear. Guy takes off. Comes back a few moments later with the water, and you're just like, well then, guess enjoy your stay. And then he kind of goes, and you can kind of see him in the corner, and he's...
I'm gonna,
at this point, he's kind of watching you as much as you're watching him.
I'm gonna, just stand up and go over to him. Sort of reach out and go to shake his hand, and like a liar say, that was some of the best steak I ever had.
Sorry, I was reading the memes.
His menu.
Today's menu. Steak mead. Let me in.
What's the price?
Really classic.
Every cut of meat possible. Wrong. All steak.
Alright,
Steak is steak.
Alright, you got me, guys. You got me fine, alright?
Hey, I'm all about it.
Wouldn't be D&D without the memes. Well, thank you for your kind words about it.
I didn't catch your name. Noah.
Vandal.
Oh, you run a hell of a place here, Vandal. This is your... I'm taking you're the owner. Oh.
You might call me the manager. Owner's not really that involved. Sees an opportunity to make money, so... effectively, yeah. Not many classy places left in Tempest, and we do our best.
You're doing well with the tools you have. You're the owner is like an out-of-towner, or... I wanted to congratulate him on his fine work.
Oh, he's in town. Has one of the bigger houses over there in the northwest, but generally tries to keep to himself. It's not really well known that he owns this place.
Well, that's fair. Sometimes people like to keep their investments quiet.
If you flaunt too much cash around here, you're like to lose it.
Like to the doorman.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Your money and your
What is the
oregano if
owner's
you're not
name?
careful.
In case we'd like to write a review of this fine establishment.
Right. Don't know who's reading that, but owner prefers to keep to himself.
Keep what to himself? His name?
Pretty much.
Well,
He likes to live a very private life, we'll say.
you know what, Vandal? Fair enough. I'm done my steak and also my mead, so I will shake your hand and bid you good day.
Yes.
In my
Well, I'm
head.
glad you enjoyed it. Anyway.
Yep.
You kind of like you can kind of see him head off to the kitchen after you've kind of had your chat with him, and then soon after that he takes off. He really just kind of came in briefly, so he wasn't kind of the guy managing the day-to-day, minute-to-minute. He just kind of seemed to show up, ask some questions, and then leave.
But just like as we're walking away, just kind of go to Brent, like we're following that guy 100%, right?
100%. That guy. He knows something.
We've got leads. We've got leads. Let's pay for our steak and mead. Get out of here.
Yeah, I'll put my water down that I didn't drink any of, and just be like, thanks for the water.
The crisp glass of H2O.
All right, so you guys head back outside. You see Theric
Really
still
taste
pulling the
cholera.
ultimate Karen play with the front desk. And then you guys just managed to like, all right, let's go. You clearly didn't get any steak. Not like he would have been able to eat it without taking his mask off anyway.
Could have like just taken a little bit off.
I guess flicked it up and yeah, had a snack. So yeah, you guys give a follow. I mean, you got 4 of you, and you're not Aiden, so go ahead and roll me stealth checks as you're following Vandal.
Anybody want to take the lead on this? I can help.
You don't have to have 4 passes. I'm just gonna say at least.
I'm just saying after we leave, whoever feels stealthy should follow him.
Not
Oh, I am definitely not stealthy.
No one.
Party is
I have-
stealthiest member is currently stalking a family.
Yeah, he's making sure that family's legit. I have advantage on stealth checks, so I can.
Flint feels stealthy.
I usually feel pretty stealthy.
All right,
I
I'll
actually
cast
have the word
invisibility on
stealthy
him.
tattooed on my arm.
Oh yeah, Noah. Before we get any further, now may I suggest next time we get back to the home per se, maybe you should shave your beard. We've
like
been
my
at 2
beard.
places. We've been at 2 places so far. You've been called homeless.
Listen, maybe I gotta trim the shrubs a little bit, but a beard is a
Dude,
distinguished feature.
What are you, his girlfriend? You look homeless. Shave it.
Coming from the guy with the biggest beard here.
Right. Well, my character doesn't have a beard. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're the only
Dude,
one. Oh, no, I
Bryce,
guess
the
2 of
biggest
you
beard out of all of us. No, you should shave your beard. No? Listen, Brent, I appreciate it. Maybe I'll give it a trim. You know any good barbers in our medieval castle?
Listen, if I can do open heart surgery, I can cut some hair.
You know what? If I don't find a barber within a 100-mile radius, I will give you a call, Doc.
Steady hands, bro.
I probably trust Lucian in the kitchen before I trust him.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'll give it a trim. But the beard stays in heart and soul. Distinguished feature where I'm from.
I start
You'll see.
heating up a knife. No. 1,000-degree knife challenge.
We ever make it up to Synecdoche, you'll see the mightiest beards. Trust me.
That you will.
Anyway, I'm gonna go follow this fucking guy. I'll see.
Roll me your stealth check. Theric's clearly following too.
Yeah.
Eric's following.
Did I-
Like, I'm gonna cast invisibility on one of you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have advantage, so probably.
Okay.
one.
I'll cast
How
it
long does
on,
invisibility last?
An hour, I believe.
Oh right, yeah. But if you take an action, it disappears.
Not
was
if you
thinking of-
take an action. It's a. Let me see.
Yeah,
attack
I was
cast
thinking
a
of
spell.
greater, where
I
you
got
can do
21.
pretty much everything. But
I'm stealthy as fuck.
21.
19, baby.
Display. Yeah, if it attacks or casts a spell, so they can do anything else.
all right, well we got Noah and Theric are particularly stealthy. Brint is just consistently like, nah. It's hard to be stealthy with a bow that large on your back. It kind of catches on everything. You squat too far, the tip is hitting the ground, and it wants to stand out.
I imagine
The
me and
scale
Brent
mail
will just
is-
hang back a little bit, and I'll can I establish, like, I'll do telepathy with Noah.
Get my brain.
You can talk. Hey Noah, how's things hanging up in here?
Oh.
Hey Noah, can you hear me?
Hello. Welcome to Freddy
Hello?
Fazbear's Pizza.
Hey, you actually gotta think a reply. I can't just read your thoughts.
I think a shutter.
Doesn't seem to like.
Yes, I hear you.
All right. So yeah, I mean, at this point, you guys are starting to get to evening. It's kind of like the season is kind of early spring, so the sun is still setting pretty early. So you're kind of starting to hit dusk. As he starts to kind of travel down and throughout. He then, actually, first off, okay. You kind of see him as he starts to kind of visit many other establishments as he's going. So it seems like he's kind of, you know, he goes down a couple of blocks and checks in somewhere else. Then he kind of comes out, kind of adjusts himself a bit, and then kind of continues again as he's kind of going from establishment to establishment. It's kind of hard to totally see inside what he's doing because you'd pretty much have to open the door, which would defeat the point of the invisibility. You know, when a guy opens and closes the door immediately behind him, it's pretty hard to scurry within an inch of him to get past it, right?
You can do that while invisible. It's attacking or casting a spell that breaks.
No, I'm just saying that, like, it's difficult
If the door
to
just
be...
like
it's
reopens
noticeable
behind it. Yeah.
It's noticeable.
Yeah. The door will just open and close. Okay. As he kind of gets going, he does seem to kind of like... Doesn't take long before he can clearly tell the way he's carrying his posture. He knows he's being followed. You can tell he knows he's being followed. But when he looks around, he can't tell where you are. He never really looks in your guys' direction but he can tell he's being followed. As he then kind of has that, he starts to make a turn, and he starts to turn into some alleys. As you're starting to kind of follow him through a couple of different alleyways. As you're then following him and continuing to follow him, he then kind of gets into a kind of a four-way, like a cross of alleys, effectively. And that's when he turns around, starts to pull up his sleeves, and he just says, "I know you're following me. So come on out, you bastards." At which point you see two people basically jump out and go to start fighting him. At which point you also see like 4 or 5 other people come to engage those two.
What the fuck?
Hey, we're not us, right?
Not you.
Like someone else is following him.
Someone else is following him.
Okay.
I'm just gonna relay back. Things are getting weird here. Over.
All right, I'll be there shortly.
Over.
So, yeah, you basically see him announce that, and what you see is you see another fairly large man. This guy kind of comes out, and when he breaks out of like whatever stealth he had, he comes in like a freight train, and he's got 2 giant like double-sided battle axes, one in each hand. And then you see a woman with kind of long black hair and wearing kind of a lengthy black robe. And you can kind of see her channeling and getting ready to start casting magic. Those are the 2 that jump out to then attack him. And then at that time, there's like 5 or 6 like other guys coming in, but they're wearing the sky blue armor with the sun on it.
Guy had shooters in the street.
Yeah, he knew he was being followed, and he walked in to try to ambush the people that were following him. He tried to lead them into a trap. He then just called them out, and they just dove in to attack.
I'm not moving. I'm just gonna like I'm just gonna like lean up against a wall. just watch it happen.
Yeah, I imagine I'm catching up with Noah now. I'm assuming we all are.
Hunt-wise, it would make the most sense to see how much resources they could burn through, what kind of spells they're working with.
Third party, whoever's weakest after.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not Vandal. I'd like to keep Vandal alive for questioning, but like maybe we'll step in if Vandal starts getting fucked up. But 2v6 is
So the way this is kind of sitting is you guys have got like the 5 or 6 kind of, so you're sitting like, imagine like north, south, west, east, right? You know, just draw the alley that way. You guys are on the south side of the alley.
Sure.
And they're fighting in the crosshairs of this alley. Vandal's kind of on the north side, and as the 5 jump into attack and they take that moment to distract, Vandal just starts taking off. And he's on his way out on the north.
Okay, I'm gonna start
He
going
then
after
kind of
Vandal.
gets partway down and then just cuts into a building.
Okay, I'm gonna try and follow him if I can. Just kind of weave through the people.
Problem
See
is
if I
that
can-
there's the full combat basically happening in the center. You're not really gonna stealth past it as it's kind of taking up the whole kind of square area of it.
Is there another
Ew.
door to the building?
There's doors into other buildings, but the one that he's in, you're basically gonna have to get past this skirmish with this large man with battle axes and the raven-haired woman with the five guys with the blue armor.
Looks like we fighting, boys.
Who are we helping? The people with Vandal or the people
I can scatter them. It won't be very subtle.
I guess how long are you watching the fight for?
I mean, as soon as Vandal starts taking off, I'd like to try and get through there, but
Are you gonna just sprint through them, or are you gonna try to stealth past it?
I mean, we're in melee. Sprinting doesn't break the invisibility necessarily, right?
Oh, that's right. You had invisibility on you. I thought he cast on somebody else.
There.
No, I haven't.
You do?
Oh wait, did you not? Oh, you cast it on there. My
Oh,
Thought he was
see?
with you.
I was with you.
right. Okay, so if I sprint through this, see me.
Okay, so yeah, they'll see it clearly if you just start sprinting through it. Vandal's in full sprint. I guess, Matt, do you start sprinting after, or what are you doing? You're the one with the visibility.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't want to leave my team without their healer, but I mean,
All right, so as you get ready, you start to hear the like.
Do I are we with we're all grouped at the start of this, right?
I imagine that they were a
Okay.
bit further ahead and you were stealthing
Yeah.
a bit further behind. So you're just like, they're kind of in, Flint and Matt are kind of in the middle of the alley.
Am I within 30 feet of Theric at any point? That's what I want to ask.
No, not anymore.
Okay.
I'd say
All right.
like the alley's maybe like 200-300 feet long till you kind of, or trying to think what's actually a reasonable alley. Let's say 100 feet, and Flint's kind of in the middle at like the 50. The fight's happening, and then Vandal's taking off like 50, full sprint up.
All right. Continue.
Tell you what, Theric and I will both full sprint, and I'll just try and keep him from getting stabbed in the ass as we get through.
All right, so
Fine
as you
by
guys
me.
kind of
Linebacker.
as you kind of start to hesitate a bit on the like what's happening with this moment, and as you're starting to get ready to sprint, and you're kind of seeing those like people start to kind of clash blades, you can see trying to think about the best way to describe this, but the 5 guys in the blue armor, you can kind of see them like they kind of take their initial kind of blows, they kind of back a bit, and then you kind of see them start to like grin as they start to slowly kind of hunch their back over a bit as their body just starts growing fur. Their face
Well.
starts to kind of pull in a bit and starts to form a bit of a snout as they then start transforming into their lichen form.
Well,
Well.
these guys don't look too innocent.
Funny way I started blasting.
So I guess, yeah, so before you get too far into the sprint, you now see these 2 fighters, or people fighting, with now what is effectively 5 werewolves.
Are they backing down? The 2 people?
Absolutely not. The big tall guy, I mean, what you can see is that the big battle axes, they actually have blood on them from when they did the scratch on the opponent. And you know full well that without silver, that wouldn't have happened.
Oh, so these guys are... Yeah.
But, all right, yeah, we're gonna be helping them.
So do you want to still sprint? Do you guys still want me to sprint through, or do we turn and fight, or what's our play here?
Well,
I think we gotta
you're not
turn
in
and
range
fight.
to really talk to them, and realistically, you have to make this
Okay.
decision in about 3 seconds. So I'd
I guess I'm
realistically say
sprinting.
that
Yeah.
yeah, you got to make that call on your own.
Yeah, for
How,
sure. I'm
how
sprinting.
far am I from this battle now?
I originally said distance, but I would say you're maybe 60 feet from the fight.
Okay.
Brint and Luke are 60 feet from the fight. Poor Oren decided to stalk a family instead of participating.
No, I'm very happy with my decision.
Just chilling, just watching them eat like they're stale bread and basically just have a couple arguing about their safety.
Okay, well, I'm gonna deal with the lichens for sure. They kind of check
Sorry,
off
just
the...
to be clear,
Yeah,
the Lycans are against the dudes that Vandal was with.
The Lycans
No,
are with the dudes.
Yeah.
Or are the dudes that Vandal had summoned.
I don't
So-
know, I guess.
Is there a battle map for this?
I'm about to, yeah. I didn't know how
I
we
just
would
want to
necessarily
see where
get-
everybody is because I'm
Yeah.
trying to.
It's
I
kinda
need to
hard
know.
I
for
guess in my
spells.
mind, I'm still having trouble deciding like why we're fighting the Lycans.
Okay, I just gotta
Baby
quickly
Lycans.
power make this
Yeah,
map.
but Lycans
so-
are part of the order as well. Just because they're Lycans doesn't mean that they're bad.
The Lycans
True.
that are part of the order are a rare breed
Like-
that are using the blood magic to fight past it. In general, if somebody's got the Lycan curse, they either give into it where they just start attacking blindly, or they lose control, or they give into it, enjoy the power, but it corrupts their mind, so they are very typically evil. The only ones that have any control over it are the blood hunters, which are basically just using dark magic to fight against the curse to keep their sanity. So
So
the
I'm
odds of
assuming
running
that I can tell that they are not blood hunters.
without the scars on their hands, you're pretty safe to assume they're not blood hunters. There's a pretty you're well enough versed in blood magic to know if they were doing blood magic, and they seem like pretty standard werewolf kin. Okay, I'm just gonna. This is like the only map I didn't have pre-made because I didn't know how we would get here. Because I mean, not like I planned to stake in Mead.
What do you mean? You
Wait.
had such a full and rich menu. I don't believe that you didn't have that plan, Brian.
Wait, in your mind, how did we meet Vandal then? That's what I would like to know.
D&D.
You had a whole nother route planned. Shit.
Actually, this was part I didn't have a route planned.
We did the speed run stake percent.
Any stake percent.
Because technically I could have drawn this map a little bigger, but...
Stakes are high.
oh god. Yeah, we'll call that good enough. We'll call it good enough. I guess Oren's not there.
Poor Oren.
We better wrap this up quick. Aiden's gonna get bored watching this family.
No.
Why is this being such a pain in my ass?
I expected you guys to come start
Jesus.
contact me
Okay.
somehow, but this works as well.
Yeah, how do
Zero
we, can
planned
you
indication of when to stop following up.
You'll have to put me where I'm supposed to be. Oh, I'm
Yeah, same.
down there.
I want to see where I'm at.
About as far as those ones are gonna go. And then I don't have any...
I just want to know where I can cast Hunger of Hadar, honestly.
Jesus, that spell.
Go. Tentacles.
Okay, they're not actually bandits, they're werewolves, but I've got the tokens for bandits. Made from last time. Oh, I made the token, but I didn't load it in yet. Oh, I forgot to. I was like, I should load them, and then I remembered that I load them with their name. And Vandal is off screen. So here's effectively, you can see what's going on too, Aiden,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Perfect.
And Buddy's running up in the north somewhere. Like he turned a corner.
Yeah,
right?
he ran up the north and he turned off screen.
Yeah. Just making sure.
Whole 20's being weird on my recording, but we'll call it good enough for now. I don't even know if they'll show up. There we go. That'll show up. All right, and then turn order we can add in. Like I had a vision that we would come into an alley, but I wasn't actually totally certain.
Come on, it's the classic.
That's right. Do we roll initiative or?
You can. We could treat it like combat. We're still kind of an RP figuring out, but we can treat it like combat.
What we got here?
And then all the werewolves will just operate on 14. Seeker has 11. Shub rolled. And
Mine's
then
a
anybody
30.
else? Oh, you've got 20? Yeah, yours already showed up. And then Noah and Brent, do you want to roll initiative?
Yep.
And Flint says his headphones are being fucky.
Okay.
So we'll just put them on like, I don't know, we'll put them on 5. I'll roll for him. Okay, I literally put in 5 and then rolled a 5. I think he's got a +3 or +2.
Boy.
Got a +3. We're losing Flint. All right, so yeah, we kind of hit this moment. We start with Shub.
Hell yeah. You know what time it is.
Are you just gonna open with it?
Fuck yeah.
Even with the 2 other folks there.
I don't know them.
Okay, you can. Now that we're actually like, I imagine that at the distance you couldn't tell, but as you start to get to within this range, you do recognize the 2 in the middle.
Who are they?
Daler and Felicity, members of the Silver Order, or the Silver Blade. They are the deserters that used to be part of the Order of the Crimson Moon. You've had drinks with them in the tavern before they left the Order of the Crimson Moon and formed their own order, the Order of the Silver Blade.
Okay. I still cast it. Careful spell. I will let them pass their saving throws.
Okay. Do they take half damage or do they take damage still?
They'll take half damage. They automatically pass a saving throw for the second bit of damage. The cold damage, there's no saving throw for, but the acid damage, they automatically will pass their saving throw.
Okay.
Draw me a circle, Brian. Hey, this is a little better than fireball. I didn't ask how big the room is, Brian.
Dungeon Master, I request your
I
finest.
don't remember the radius, but I'm sure that'll cover
20.
it.
20. But yeah, that should be good.
You can
like
use a
fucking
placeholder
spot
token and have it have an aura. I should be able to do that.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
it also kind of depends on whether you're doing like block movement or not, because otherwise
Yeah, we
this
know.
isn't 20.
Honestly, there's a
The whole
building in the way anyway.
Yeah, the whole squares versus circle thing.
As basically he goes and casts this spell, and this big, large, just... It's hard to even describe it as black. It's like everything in front of you turns into a mirage. It's hard to even
blade.
focus on. Alright, roll me damage for the... Or is it when they start their turn, you said?
It's their start of their turn, so pretty much all of them are gonna have it right away. You want me to just roll once? Or all of them, or...
Just roll me once for the start, and then we don't
Oh
have
my
to pass
god.
through
Two ones.
it. Well, we're taking it through for all of them. Felicity basically just like frustrated by it, like it kind of just like stings a bit, and then she kind of comes out and she walks seemingly straight out. She knows exactly where to go.
Perfect. Calculated.
And she basically just like, kind of like Daler's turn is so far down, but she's basically just like dragging him along so he knows like what direction to go. And then the bandits. All right.
Werewolf.
Werewolves, sorry, correct. First guy just starts stumbling outward. 1, 2, 3. They have what, half movement too, right?
Half.
So he takes his 2 and doesn't go anywhere. Bandit 2 basically runs until he hits the wall. Bandit 3 manages to run out. This guy just runs till he hits this wall.
Aha, the randomness works! Okay, so
As
four of them.
they just start panic. Actually, sorry, scratch that. They can smell through it. They all track Felicity. And 2 of them actually come towards the party. They have a sense of smell. Sorry to retcon like that. I was like, oh, they randomly do whatever, but it's like, nah, dude, they could smell their way out. And then 3 of them just take like 3 swings on Felicity. Felicity gets smoked twice. And she takes 15 damage from the hits, plus your hit to her. Lunar Seeker.
I actually don't know what to do, if I should start fighting or if I should stay invisible, because I'm still invisible, correct?
No.
Oh,
I would
no?
have dropped concentration to cast Hunger of the Dark.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind then.
The thing is too, Luke, you don't actually know what happened with the other 3. All you see is the 2 that
Right.
popped out.
Yeah. 2 pop out.
Technically, everything within the green is just black. You can't
Right.
see any of it.
Right.
It's a mirage. It just looks like nothing.
Though the guy right in front of me, the werewolf in front of me, I'm gonna cast Ray of Sickness on.
Okay. do 20 poison damage? Jesus. He fails it too. Yeah, he just gets smoked for 20 damage.
Boom.
Like, you just smoke him right in the chest, and actually with the wounds he's taken from Daler, he just collapses to the ground.
Suck on that.
Noah. I think your mic's off, Flint.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to be bandit to my right, and I'm gonna try and the old melee into shotgun trick. So I'll take my 1d8, swipe at him, try to.
Alright, so Flint's weapon, just as he's rolling it for people, it's a custom-made weapon. He's got a saw, or like a wood saw on the end of it as a bayonet, and it's got the special ability that if he lands his melee attack, he is guaranteed to land his range attack.
But the secret is I roll very poorly on attack rolls, so...
That's the secret, Captain. I'm always missing.
Much like that.
Does a 10 hit?
No.
Well, we're trying again. Fellas.
You have a +8.
Yep. I rolled a 2.
Well, that was damage you rolled there.
No.
Oh no, that was a
It
20
went-
there. The second one hits.
I guess the game just assumed that a 10 was not going to hit and didn't bother giving me the damage.
Apparently. As you just like go for the first rake, miss it, and go for the second rake, and just slash him right across the arm with the wood saw. Silvered, of course. Brent. Or unless you got something else there, Flint.
I don't think that it's worth the action surge just yet, so...
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Crimson Right, so I'll take my damage first.
Okay.
5 damage. I will pull out Vanity and start a fucking thwacking.
Ooh, that's a crit.
And then it's 1d6.
1d6.
For
My
his
Crimson
fire
Right
damage.
Then you get to roll those.
So don't forget with your
crit.
So you rolled an 8 with it, so you get just the +8 with the crit, right? Because we're just doing the
Another
flat weapon.
+8 and a +6.
Yes. So he gets 12 plus, or no, 14 plus. No, yeah, it's 12 plus 14. So he's got like, yeah, you just thwack. Just right in the chest, straight down to the ground. Flint saws him on the arm. The guy just like flinches, and as he's flinching, that was just enough time for him to not be able to dodge as you just straight through the armor, straight to the heart.
Good night.
Now you can't see much of anything except a black mirage.
I'm gonna move a little bit closer. Right.
Daler having been given the directions by Felicity.
Can you move all the way out? Half movement.
Oh yeah.
How much movement does he have?
No, you would only have 30 feet. So it'd be 10, 20, 30.
Good thing he passed his... He automatically passes his save.
Which is still just half damage.
Just half damage.
It's a 2d6.
Three damage. Acid.
Alright. We go to Shub.
I'll drop my Hunger of Hadar. Ah! They're all gone. Perfect.
I
We
guess
continue
technically you
on.
We all stop and celebrate because we know that there's no danger.
out ahead of you. So I guess one thing I failed to do, which I'm forgetting about with for anybody who just listens audioly, we'll get this honed in. I mean, this will be a bit rough for the first episode or two, but most new podcasts are. They're in a four-way alley, and he put Big Hunter Radar that basically blocked everything. Daler, Felicity, and three bandits ran off, or three werewolves ran off to the left. To the west, and two of them ran off to the south. The two that ran off to the south just got dropped in an instant by the party. And now the party is just kind of heading up north towards the center of the crossroads of the alley there.
I'll
get
move
to
up 20 feet as well. It's the end of my turn.
Okay, so we get to Felicity. Felicity is then gonna just start channeling, and she's gonna cast Eldritch Blast, and she's going to shoot three of them. One, two, three. She lands all three. She just shotguns them in front of the person in front of her. Ooh, that's a decently high roll. It hits them for like 20 some odd damage. Cause what's it? Plus charisma, which would be 9. What's the damage they took from Luuk? Actually, no, it's still not as high. That's 16 plus 9, 25, 27. Oh, no, that's enough. And just shotguns it right into one of the werewolves and downs them. And then as we get to the last of the werewolves, they take 2 more slashes at Felicity. One of them hits and hits her for some more damage. And then we get back to Lunar Seeker. Matt, I think you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I was like talking. So how do I do the click and drag movement again? It's super easy.
Oh, to like figure out your thing. So if you're using the arrow,
Yeah.
so like if you look at the top left of your screen, you should see the tool menu. You can pick the top one, which is the arrow.
Select move.
Then you, and then you just click on your token and just hold it as you move it around.
Oh, that's so much easier. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then if
5.
while you're moving it and you're holding your left click, you can tap your right click.
Yeah.
And it'll start to show measurement.
While I'm moving it.
So hold the left click, never let go of the left click, right click along your walk path.
Oh, that's
and
perfect.
then let go of the left click, and that'll do your movement. If you need to do
nice.
like measurements as you go.
So I'll run up here, right? 25 feet.
Mhm.
And I'm going to use Cantrip Acid Splash on those two guys. Which I can hit 2. Or I can hit 1. And then the other one can do as well. On this guy.
They both fail their save. They both take 8 damage. We get to Noah.
Okay, I'm going to and get up.
So Lunar Seeker ran up to the middle and just went and acid splashed the 2 that are off to the left.
Great. I'm gonna round the corner and get within. I guess I don't even really need to get into range. If I go up to the square above the Lunar Seeker, I should still have a shot at the bandit that is closest to.
Sorry, you cut out as you said closest to the
wall. All right.
Yep. You should.
Okay. Around the corner, kind of take aim with my gun and fire off a shot at bandit. Let's see if I can hit it. Yeah, 25 should do it.
25 will hit him. Pump 8 damage into him.
Nice.
He's still standing.
Right. Nice.
That'll hit him too.
What the? That's the same rolls. What the hell is going on?
You pop up and just, I mean, you're in an alley. You pop off 2 gunshots. It's a big old shotgun. The sound is rattling kind of everywhere. Anybody that didn't know that there was a battle going on here, I mean, you literally pull the trigger twice and it's like the crows start like cawing and like flying off in the distance, and it kind of like rattles everyone's ears. That was a tight proximity to be firing a gun in.
Well,
we are here.
here we is.
And then
Cool.
Brent.
All right, so I'm gonna move 30 to there. So I'm closer into the, I guess, crossroads now. And I'm assuming I can't shoot between Lunar Seeker and Noah.
You have sharpshooter, which allows you to hit somebody even with like 3/4 cover. So technically, with your feet sharpshooter, it'd be hard to argue that you can't actually do that.
All right, let's see here. Okay, have sharpshooter on.
No, like just by nature, you have that accuracy. So even without the +10 damage, you just have that bonus accuracy. You ignore cover. Unless it's full
gotcha.
cover.
Okay. I thought I had to turn it on.
No. The ignore
That was
cover is
after.
a default feature. It's the bonus damage you have to turn on if you want to take the penalty to take the bonus damage.
Gotcha. Then I'm gonna fucking wing a couple vanity shots right through here and see if we can fucking land one.
And you got your advantage because you killed that other werewolf.
The vanity pass.
With another crit. What are you doing here, Bryce?
He's already dead.
Yeah, that's enough. You just right in the back, right through the heart. You don't like. You go to notch the second arrow, and you're just like, weakling. They just drop them.
We need some tougher competition around here so people can know the name.
Yeah. All right. So right around this point, Felicity and Daler then kind of turn, and they're like, okay, the werewolves have dropped. They turn, and they recognize you, but they also just took a Hunger of Hadar, so they are still armed and ready, and they're kind of facing at you, and you basically see Daler's. You're like, his first response is, "So, I guess Scarlet really does want us all dead, doesn't she?"
Oh, get over it. It's just a little bit of cold.
Felicity's like,
You should be glad it was only like 3 of them against you, because before there was 5.
I offer to heal the 2. This is my
"I wonder
duty.
we left the order." All right, you can drop your healing spells if you want to heal them up.
Yeah.
Daler only took like 5 points of damage, and Felicity got smacked pretty hard.
I mean, I have mending. No, that's not that. That's like objects.
That's
level
like
1.
objects, yeah.
This is level 1. Yeah, level 1 cure wounds. Should I
Who'd you
cast it
cast that
twice? The first one, Felicity, I guess, and then after Daler. Should I cast it twice?
You'd have to cast it twice if you want to heal twice.
Yeah.
Felicity's still much more wounded than Daler, even after the heal.
I guess I'll heal her again. Fuck.
You gave her a good amount of healing. She's still more wounded than Daler, but she's looking just a little rough.
That's good
but
enough.
Doing okay.
That's good enough.
They then just kind of look at you and they're like, "Didn't expect to run into you here."
similar?
I don't know. It's a common enemy, I
I
think.
didn't catch anything you said, Flint. I could see you talking, but
I guess we're looking for similar folks.
Werewolves are still our enemy for the most part, too.
surprised you'd even think to check here.
We have our sources.
Here, Order the Crimson Moon's reputation and resources does extend further than the Silver Blades. I think we should talk.
I think Mr.
listening.
Vandal got away, so.
Yeah, it appears so, but can't really blame you. We should have known better.
Yeah.
We should have known he was leading us into a trap.
Yeah, it would have been much better if you hadn't been so obvious.
Kind of see Daler and just like his full, like he's like big like the Rock and carrying like big ass battle axes. He's like, stealth isn't my strong suit.
Clearly. Anyway.
But Cromley's a cunning bastard, so trying something different.
Where do you propose we go talk?
We've got an inn that we've been staying in, mostly abandoned. Beds are in tolerable shape. We head over there.
Alright. Why not?
Yeah, I guess we just follow them.
They kind of then just lead you. They don't seem super keen on making small talk as they walk. It seems just kind of straight business. General relations with the Order of the Silver Blade, with the Order of the Crimson Moon, have always been a little tense since they left just well over a year ago. But they seem distant more than you'd normally expect. You then follow along, and you kind of get to the inn that you're staying at.
That they're staying at.
That they're staying at. And you kind of
But
get
lump
in
us in
and
with them.
you kind of see with this inn, it's been mostly
have a
kind of
name?
ransacked. Not
Still have a
anymore.
name on it? No.
No.
Is there a description of where it would be that I could send to Oren?
Yeah, you'd be able to send your general location. You're actually not that far off from the meeting point. It's a bit of a... Actually, you're closer to the Rusty Flagon than you were much of anywhere else.
Okay.
Kind of back into that gruffer part of town. Get a little bit kind of deeper into it. Clearly, this kind of corner of the city is almost in rougher shape than the people living outside in the outskirts. This is the kind of people that manage to get in but are scared to leave because they won't be able to come back in. And so they've just kind of taken all the abandoned buildings and just turned them into like homeless living. A lot of inns, a lot of stuff like that. It was actually a fairly popular trade area back in the day. So a lot of inns were here just to account for the high volume of traffic that came to Ilhelm through the Reaver Gate.
Well, in 25 words or less, I'll try to give as much description of where we're going to Oren. With the sending spell.
Right.
That.
You will, upon receiving that, going to, like, not even bother hiding. He's just gonna, like, drop down from the ceiling right outside of, like, the dinner table where they were all eating. Just, like, look at all of them for a moment and then walk away.
Just startles, like you can basically see you can hear the children scream. You can hear the wife scream as she kind of goes to like reach to her husband. The husband is terrified too, and he's met you, and he's just,
You're all clear. Stay that way. And then he just fucking leaves. Just walks out of the front door.
As he leaves, they go, "Whew, I was just about to tell you how I betrayed those guys."
No!
So yeah, then Orin heads on over and joins them. Felicity and Daler, then they kind of go in, and it's got an inn, but it's also got kind of like the restaurant area down on kind of the main level. And they're kind of he kind of grabs like an ale from his bag or some wine and starts kind of like pouring it, and he's kind of eating just some ration type food, and they're kind of sitting on the table. Daler is just like, puts his double battle axes down on the table or on the chair, like leaning on the two legs, like feet up on a table. Felicity kind of clearly not that pleased with his kind of demeanor, but she's sitting there kind of sipping her wine, eating her rations on I'd say maybe same table or standing over by the bar, the old bar, I would say, kind of standing and eating and having a glass of wine. And okay. They just kind of turn to the party and like, you know what, I'm surprised to see you, but it might be for the best that we've run into each other.
What was discovered?
Well, we discovered that Cromley was here. That one was there. That one was a surprise. As we did our digging, as we did our searching. He's been surprisingly less secretive than I'm used to him being. Something about that rubs me the wrong way. He simply let us see him. You'd think as a werewolf he'd be able to tell that we're there. They're usually kind of hard to sneak up on, especially the ones as senior as him, is familiar with their senses. It's hard to tell what he's doing. We've tracked him from a few cities. Just gonna pull up the map here. We tracked him through Onyxburg and through Grimir over in the north. On the way here, just mostly seeming like we were always just one step behind. But in each place we went, we managed to dismantle what felt like a growing werewolf threat. Not that dissimilar to what happened with the fall of Tempest, but just much more subtle, smaller operations, not growing at a rate that would warrant that type of attack. Much more calculated. Took out what we can, and now that's led us to here. And he's been here the longest from what we can tell, but he's also much harder to track. It's almost like he was intentionally leading us here. We can't really figure out why. Fortunately, in our haste, we've fallen for... This is the second ambush you've caught us tonight following for. The last one, they managed to capture Orin. Orin's another member of the Silver Blade. Taking him, I don't know where. I'm worried, though. I'm very worried. Full moon's in 2 days. And everywhere we've been going, they've been trying to convert people. We can't find Orin in the next 2 days. He might be a werewolf if he's not already dead.
They're forcibly converting?
Yeah. From what we can tell.
I had no idea Orin was such a popular name. Steve.
Fairly
Oh yeah, this one's... Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just thinking of the spelling. This one's like Auran. A-U-R-A-N.
They're different etymologies, but pretty much the same.
I didn't even think of that. I just was like, oh yeah, it's read different. I'm like, shit, it's the same name. Whoops. It's even... Is that actually... Let me double check that that's actually what I wrote in the thing. Did I really get that far and not even clue in?
It's like Stephens.
Yeah, it is.
Same thing.
Stefan.
Aaron is in the list. Like if you check the notes and you check the
Stefan.
order of the Silver Blade, Aaron is on the list. The third one down after the following.
Hilarious.
Yeah, well, I'll try to pronounce it more R instead of or.
Where was the last place that you saw him? I might be able to track something.
We found him. We were just out in an alley just behind the Steak and Mead. When we got jumped, most of the members there. The place is run by werewolves. We found
They do
people
have good
forcibly
steak,
being
though.
changed in Onyxburg and Gramir, but not to this extent. There's a lot of werewolves in Ilhelm, and it's concerning. But there was only a few in Gramir and Onyxburg. And you can kind of see that, like, Daler is... He's not just frustrated, like, he is upset. You know, you can tell he's a leader that cares about his members, and what you see really strewn across his face as he's talking about Orin being captured is just regret and... I'm trying to think of the proper word, but just, like, self-blame.
I guess Oren
Oh.
feels like it's his fault he lost. Aaron?
Yeah. Daler, yeah.
Yeah, Daler.
Maybe we can help somehow, but like, is it really our problem?
We should just focus on killing the plague.
Like antibiotics? Like, what do you mean?
The lichens. Kill
Not
him.
really.
They don't seem
Yeah,
to be
just
the same
another
as the
blank
lichens
stare
we
from
have back
Oren.
home.
Yeah.
I think we can safely wipe them out.
Oh, we might
You
have a
know what?
lead.
What
Got
is
a
this
little bit
lead?
from Vandal. That Magister, I'm assuming Magister owns Mistaken Mead entirely. Tight-lipped about it, but
I
Ghost in
think
the
you're
city.
connecting the dots.
Got the pegboard
Connect 4. We'll get there.
out. Ghost in
What
the
diagonal?
northwest of the city.
Look diagonal.
Start there. It's not very specific, but area to
So we're just
hone in
gonna-
on.
Stumble around the city for the largest house.
Wasn't the large, it was one of the largest.
Oh, even better.
Yeah,
like opening
we
the
gotta
yellow
find the
pages.
largest, and then the
Yellow
sliding
pages.
scale
Work from there.
yeah, our way down.
Yeah, he gave me the same thing. I tried tracking that lead. I don't think that Cromley is the benefactor. Truly, it is actually just a wealthy merchant who's totally ignorant to what's actually happening there and who the that he kind of, you can almost hear like the sustain in his voice. The last hope. Think they are. Last hope is this pathetic gang here. Think they're really doing the city a service or something. Name themselves so.
Are they the ones with the blue sky and sunshine badges?
Yes.
Why do they call themselves the Last Hope or whatever?
When Cinderbrook fell some 30 plus years ago, a lot of people tried to flee. What do you do when your nation falls? Run to the closest nation. So, you could either try to go down to Avon, live in the dwarves, but not a lot of people really wanted to do that. Or you flee to the Reavergate, head over towards Lion Argyle and Uvenus. Try to find a life over there. And Uvenus wasn't having it. Closed the Reavergate. Everybody had to find somewhere to stay. Where do you go when what you thought was the last hope was taken from you? Wilhelm then basically just ended up flooded with all the refugees and the rest of Tempest that were fleeing the sudden burst in crime, fleeing the threat of the werewolves. Expanded the city fourfold. Last Hope claimed that they were here to help the people. Called themselves the Last Hope. Said we could trust in them. Yeah. Or said the people could trust in them. Really, they were just a gang.
It's like a group of false prophets.
Pretty much. Just a bunch of drug peddling petty thieves that took as an opportunity to band together and pretend like they were above it all, but really, they were just as bad as everybody else, if not worse. But numbers has power. Get the right couple of people, and they have a lot of influence in this city. Made off pretty rich with it as well. Man most the gates, act like they're the guard, but still walk around like they're some noble family or some bullshit. Vandal's the head of them. Leads the Last Hope.
You'd all probably notice Orin flip open his journal and flip to a blank page and start writing down information.
Yeah. What I wouldn't do to put my axe in that bastard.
Noted.
Seems like they're doing more than just making cash. The only lead I haven't been able to get much luck out of is the missing people. Particularly in this neighborhood, that's why we're stationed up in this inn. A lot of people just seem to disappear, but no one seems to say anything. I don't know if it's fear, not giving a shit, or just no one cares enough about the poor, I guess. But it's not just like your normal disappearance. Like, people die. People defend themselves, thieves, you know, there's murderous crime, but kidnapping more than one or two, it's not that common. It seems like there's been dozens that have just disappeared. We don't know where they went.
How long have you been here?
Here in Ilhelm, maybe about 3-4 weeks. This investigating thing, it's simpler when the werewolf just shows up, slaughters some people, they're trying to hide the blood on their hands, and you go axe the problem. Quite literally. I'm well out of my element. Point me something to smash, not something to track.
I think it'd probably be best if we set out at night then. Try to figure out where these people are vanishing to.
Whereabouts you think we should maybe try to look? I'm at my wit's end here. Do you have any ideas for maybe how we can try to track this down?
I'm able to generally sense the location of people if I focus on my senses enough. Use
Or they haven't met you yet. Maybe you can infiltrate the blue sky.
That's a good idea.
You become one of them.
I'm not good at making friends with people I want to kill.
Nobody said you had to be their friend.
I'm not good at immediately not killing people I want to kill.
Okay. Better worded that time.
Infiltration could work.
Maybe we could have
in that.
Maybe we could have the doc go back, realize the error of his ways. Instead of fake elven grass, he wants to get on board with selling real grass and join them that way.
I mean, it's worth a shot. I don't know if they would take it. The elven grass is pretty potent. It kills most people.
Okay, but give them regular grass.
Like I said, it's worth a shot. I'm down. I always carry, for medical reasons.
Could be a solution, but I don't know how much they're open to recruiting, but trade, maybe. Opportunities to make profit. That might catch their interest.
I mean, I got tons of drugs in here we could try.
I wonder if they're interested in a shotgun with a saw mounted to it.
Yeah, I mean...
I could make another one, but it would take a long time. I'm kind of using this one right now.
I was going to suggest you make a new one, because that one never seems to work half the time.
Just use it. Just fire twice. Great.
Yeah.
I could offer my services to track down and kill Lunar Seeker.
No, that's just rude.
But it might
I
just
wouldn't
work.
actually kill you.
Couldn't if you wanted to.
And
You
just
kinda hear-
dead-eyed stare.
You see Felicity in the back, she's like, why would they want to track down and kill Lunar Seeker?
If it beats me.
Apparently he sold them fake grass. He's just
I
gonna
didn't sell-
do the other two.
I didn't sell them. I bribed them. And it didn't work.
Any other plan other than infiltrating this last hope gang?
I'm mostly for the plan of tracking them down and then slaughtering them, but
I'm up for that too.
I can't really come up with anything better, so I'll let you guys decide. I really don't know.
Felicity makes a comment about, like, we failed at tracking Vandal, but none of us knew you were following as well.
So we could
Maybe
come
we
back
just
here
try
for
again.
steak tomorrow.
I still have
That
some
steak
cash
wasn't
left.
worth it. That steak wasn't worth 10 gold.
Your
Daler's
water
concern is Daler is just kind of getting frustrated in this whole thing, though, as he basically just smacks his hand on the table. He's like, we could talk all day about tracking them down, but we literally, if we don't find Arin in the next 48 hours, we don't know what'll happen to him.
Well,
Well, we
unless you can come up
we
with
do.
some fucking suggestions here, bud.
Yeah, we actually know exactly what will happen to him. He'll be bitten by a werewolf, or he'll die. There's not a lot of in between there.
your ways.
Daler's just suggesting, you know what? Felicity said no, but I suggest we just beat the shit out of as many last hope as we can until somebody talks. And he just, like, he's basically full on standing, like, leg on his, or, foot on his chair, like, holding his axe, like, flexing his other hand. Like, let's just beat the shit out of him. Like, that'll work.
Put a hand on his shoulder and say, that's, we're not quite there yet.
I mean,
Keep
I'm not
in
even
mind.
saying it wouldn't work, but it'd just be insanely difficult. We don't know how many people they have. We don't know how many their positioning, infiltration, and their just there's so many factors to just charge in there Wildman style. As much fun as it might be for some, I think a more strategic approach would definitely be our best bet. Personally, I think infiltration, given some of our abilities in this party, would seem the most advantageous. PhD, by the way.
Felicity also just,
I'm a
like,
doc.
cuts in, and she's
I'm a
just
doctor.
like, Daler, you've been trying to beat the shit out of them route for weeks, and it's resulted in about 24 dead werewolves and not much else.
Pretty good.
Take a multi-pronged approach then, see if we can find any leads on Orin and try and follow Vandal again. This time with feeling.
If I get my eyes on Vandal, not much will be able to keep me from being able to track him.
It's true, this time you won't be following a man to his family. wherever the hell you went.
Actually,
Orange
technically, you
just
don't know
gonna,
that
like-
yet.
Yeah. Warren's like, oh yeah, that came up with nothing. The kids have been asking their father for a pet, though, in case you were wondering.
Oh, literally no one was wondering that.
Well, I watched them for approximately 2 to 4 hours. They seemed normal enough.
What? You have a
Argued a lot,
range of
though.
hours? 2 to 4.
I zone out on some steakhouse. It was
All right.
very busy.
I think this is a good time to take a food break, take a piss break. Listen, we all want to eat at the Steak and Mead. Fuck what any of them say. But if you also want to eat at the Steak and Mead, you should like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to check us out next Tuesday at 1 p.m. PST as the boys try to figure out how to track down Cromley.